Welcome once again to our Tate Branch Fan of the Week segment on this semifinal game. The Artesia Bulldogs taking on the Piedra Vista Panthers. And we once again went into the great state of Texas to find our guest. Our guest today is former mayor and former resident of Artesia, Mr. Phil Birch. Phil, thanks for doing this today.
Well, thank you. I was surprised with the call, but it's certainly appreciated.
And I see you have your great Bulldog orange on today, so you got the note. Now, are you originally from Artesia, or are you like me, a transplant?
No, I grew up in Artesia. I wasn't born in Artesia. My father was in the service, and my mother was traveling with him, and then they had me, and she came back to Artesia. So I went to grade school, junior high, and high school in Artesia.
Good. Did you get to play any athletics, or were you in any other clubs or activities at Artesia High School?
I didn't realize it then, but I realize it now that I was very active in terms of sports. Um, I played football, basketball, and uh, baseball or track, which in seniors, when you were a senior, you got to play baseball because you didn't have to go out for track. So, but I played all I could get. I enjoyed it.
That's fantastic. And now, did you go on to college? I'm sure you went on to college after you graduated from Artesia High.
Yeah, I spent 2 years at the Institute in Roswell, and then I transferred to the University of Denver and graduated from the University of Denver.
Great. And had quite a career in business, as I understand. What are some of the things that you did after you graduated from college?
Most of my um, working career, I was in the field of human resources, and I early on I got caught up with the retail industry, and I spent most of my working life um, on the retail side in human resources.
But what brought you back to Artesia? How did you wind up back here?
It was just a quirk. I happened to be, I was at the time working in El Paso for a truck stop company in their human resource department. And the company was sold. And so, you have this big meeting and they say, okay, now, guys, everybody has a job except you and you and you and you, because we don't need two presidents and we don't need two VPs of human resources
Right.
and all those things. So it happened that I was looking for a job, and my wife's mother had just a couple of months prior passed, and we had to clean up some things in Artesia. Got there, didn't have any idea that we were going to stay, but it worked out that I met John Metz of PVT, and he said, "How much longer are you going to work?" And I said, "About 10 years." And he said, "Well, that's about what I'm doing. And why don't we get together and do this?" So he hired me, and I spent what I thought was my last 10 years of working with PVT. Um, as it worked out, uh, virtually um, virtually at the same time that I retired, our Mayor Manuel Madrid passed, and somebody had to be appointed to take his place, and that was me.
And that's how you kind of got into the political side of things and
Yeah,
served on the council and mayor for a couple of terms. And I guess Coach Henderson, Cooper Henderson, didn't follow. I guess when he got his dad's playbook, it just kind of got thrown away one year because totally
Yeah,
different offense now.
yeah, because the word pass was it wasn't in LG's, not early on. I think later on he loosened up a bit, but um, I was, I'm pretty sure I was the leading passer on the team in 1960.
You
I
were.
threw one pass and it was completed. And I was, I was the leading passer on the team. Uh, but
Yeah.
so I'm proud of that one. But
Well, you
I,
should be.
well, growing up in Artesia was a real hoot. I enjoyed it, and there were more things. There were more things than football that were associated with football. That when you meet a grad from Artesia and you start talking about remember when, there were some crazy things. And one of the things that still exists is just about that time of the first state championship, the use of the cannon
Mm.
came into being. Two things happened. One, the bell that goes up and down at each score, that was a donation from the railroad. That's a railroad bell.
Oh,
And
wow.
so everybody got to pull the bell and ring the bell. The other one was shooting off the cannon. And when I was there, there was a guy named, um, oh, just a minute, I had it. um, Gary Miller was his name. He was a student. He didn't play sports, but Gary just liked to be involved, and so it was. I think it was the coach of the time dubbed him the Gary the Cannon guy, and I can remember some when I was a sophomore. We went over to play Hobbs, and we hadn't been there for 2 years because you swap sites. And Hobbs had done some work. None of us had very good fields then. We still have Morris Field sitting there, and that's what I played on. But everybody was always working on there, and you went back to a stadium you'd been in 2 years ago, and it changed. But I can remember in the pregame warmup, Gary came racing across the field and got coach and said, "Coach, they took down that building where I put the cannon 2 years ago. Where do I put it?"
Yeah.
And this is something that the coach wants to worry about at
Right.
game.
Right.
And so he said, "Gary, just go see that building at the end of the end zone, that new one." And Gary said, "Yeah." He said, "Go there." Okay. About the middle of the first quarter, the Bulldogs scored, and the cannon goes boom, and you heard all this screaming going on, and the evacuation of the new women's restroom occurred right then. And so that was kind of a showstopper. But
I'm sure they had to move the cannon after that.
yeah, it's and those are the stories you go back to as a former Bulldog.
Oh, yeah. And we appreciate the stories. We appreciate the work that you did as mayor and on the council. And I know a lot of folks are glad that you're still following the Bulldogs, and we appreciate you being our fan of the week today.
Well, I appreciate somebody thinking of it, and I was there for the Goddard game and the Mayfield game just a couple of weeks ago. Um, I'm seriously thinking about a couple of weeks from now that may get to go to another one, but we'll just have to wait and see.
That's
But
right. We gotta play the team this week first.
yep, yep, that's true. And I would caution Roswell not to look past Deming, because Deming gave us a pretty good run for our money the first half. It kind of got one-sided on the second half, but we had played a couple of games where the game was over at 50 points, and Deming didn't take kindly to that, and so they may jump up and surprise Roswell. Wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit.
Well, and either way for Artesia, whether it's Roswell or Deming, the game's at Bulldog Bowl in Artesia for the championship Thanksgiving weekend. So,
Yeah.
Phil Birch, our fan of the week, thank you so much for sitting through this with me, and hope to see you at a state championship game very soon.
Well, I'm hopeful also, and I want to thank Tate and Perry, and of course you, for the work that you guys do to let people like me see the Bulldogs. And I look forward to this game and one more.
All right. Thank you very much. Stay
Thank
tuned.
you.
We'll be right back.
Introducing the new and improved taste of Pepsi